Hey, what's up? Jonathan here. I just wanted to give you my playoff predictions for this season, Cup Series. Obviously, NASCAR has their own little theme. So let's just go into the first round, Darlington, Sunday, and got Gateway, Worldwide Technology, in Bristol, first three. So having advanced to the next one, Larson, William Byron, Hamlin, Blaney, Bell, Chase Elliott, Chase Briscoe, Logano, Tyler Reddick, Bubba Wallace, Alex Bowman, and Ross Chastain. Uh, you know, the guys who had eliminated on Barry, um, Austin Dillon. I just don't feel like they're going to do anything much. I feel like Austin Cindric, though, yes, he's been decent this year, still just I didn't feel like he was going to have much in the first round. And SVG. Now, yes, he made a lot of points up. Okay, and if he could get to the round 12, there was a chance that he gets to the round of 8. But I feel like that there's just too much for him to overcome between Darlington, uh, Gateway, and Bristol. That the guys behind him are just going to make up enough points to drop him further back out of the 16 and or out of the 12 the 16 part. So, yeah, I just as much as it would be kind of funny to see it happen, I just think it's just too much for him at this start of season or year for Cup Series. So, let's move on to round 12. Got it's New Hampshire, Kansas, and Charlotte. Moving on to the next round, I have Kyle Larson, William Byron, Danny Hamlin, Ryan Blaney, Christopher Bell, Chase Elliott, Tyler Reddick, and Joe Logano. Um, yes, Joe Logano, and maybe I'm being a little generous to Joe Logano here. I've, he last year technically he was out of the round 12, but because of a penalty due to Alex Bowman, he was back in, and then yeah, the rest was history from there. So maybe I'm being a little generous to push Joey through the round of 8, but I feel like there's gonna be some just people like Chase Briscoe and Bubba Wallace, Alex Bowman, and Ross Chastain. I just haven't shown the consistency to keep going forward in certain races. Maybe I'm even being generous with Tyler Reddick, but if Reddick can be pretty good at Kansas, I think that's going to be enough for him to move on. I'm not saying he's going to win, just saying that if he can survive New Hampshire, get a top 10, be a top 5 contender, maybe win for Reddick, he'll move on. Chase Elliott, I just feel like just consistency will keep carrying him through. Maybe I'm also being generous for him, but I think that he'll have a better shot um, moving on as well. But let's move on to the from 12 to 8 into who's going to get to the final 4. So I have Kyle Larson, William Byron, Ryan Blaney, and Christopher Bell. Now, I know a lot of people are saying John Larson has been on a downfall in the summertime. And I know that, but I feel like just like any Hendrick driver, team, and organization, they find something in the playoffs. They always do. So I feel like if he can, not say win Las Vegas, but be in the top 5, survive Talladega. He doesn't have to have a really good finish because I feel like like Talladega being smack dab in the middle of the round of 8, people are gonna go for it, get the win. I would have better odds of a big crash, and if Larson just avoids that, have a good finish. And then Martinsville, I think he'll do really well there. He can win or at least be in the top 5, and I feel like that's enough to advance to the next round. William Byron, I think he could win any track here. Talladega, Martinsville, Las Vegas, so that's a given. Ryan Blaney, same thing. I think he can win at any of these tracks, especially Talladega. Super Series racing seems to be his preference now for some reason, but I can see him moving out. And Bell, you know, again, his consistency throughout the season has been kind of so apart. But again, for some reason, they hit another different level in the playoffs, and I think he can do it again and get in this time without any controversy from falling out last year. He'll just get in nice and smooth, um, and move on to the championship 4 at Phoenix. So as you can tell, if he makes it all the way, I know the Fords and particularly Penske have been really good at Phoenix, but that has to eventually, and I think really, truly, if Bell, when he was actually in the 4, if he did not blow a brake rotor, I think he wins that championship that year. And because I think he had a pretty good car that season, but because I feel like that the Penske's era has to end some point in time. Out of all the bunch, it's usually the person that is up against everyone. Now, let's be very clear. You got Larson and William Byron, right? Both from Hendrick. Now, I'm not saying there's going to be an issue with them two being in the playoffs, but sometimes when you have 2 or more cars in the championship 4, it tends to mess up certain things. Some people become a little more secretive about their stuff. When it's one-on-one, like here, it would be Brian Blaney and Christopher Bell, Joe Gibbs and Penske. You do have better odds, right? Because you can really focus on those individual cars and not worry about the other ones per se. And that leads to better success in the race. So I feel like it's just going to be a one-on-one match between Blaney and Bell. And I don't know, maybe I just have this more of a gut feeling, and maybe I kind of just really want him to win one. Christopher Bell, I feel like, is going to win the championship this year in 2025. Now, you know my take on this playoffs, even though I'm doing this, I know, like, well, John, why you do this? You don't like the system. It doesn't mean I don't participate in certain things, it's fun. It's if anything, it gives you a good laugh, right? Hey, did this person win? Nuts. Oh, well, next year, right? Obviously I prefer a different format than this, but anyways, it is what we have right now. Of course, this is if how many wins or how many laps will the championship driver lead over the course of the 10 races? I say 200 laps, and the reason why I say that, I feel like that Bell will lead some laps and probably in some of these races. I just don't, and I don't think it'll come down to a tiebreaker anyways. I think a lot of people have different people in the championship 4. Some people probably even have Bell in there. So either way, this is my prediction, and we'll see what happens. Let me know who you have winning the championship. Stay subscribing for more NASCAR content.